In section 2.4, we're still looking at functions. First place we'll look at is doing different operations on these functions. We've got four basic operations that we want to do: sum, difference, product, and quotient. The sum, we're just simply adding the functions. Difference, we're subtracting. Product, we're multiplying. And quotient, we're dividing. And you'll be able to do more to some functions than others. But, for example, if we have f of x equal the square root of x plus 3 and g of x equal 1 over x minus 1, you're just going to simply add these two functions together. And if you can simplify your new function that you have, you want to go ahead and do that. But if you can't, you can just leave it as that sum. In this case, you can simplify this sum by getting a common denominator. The common denominator is x minus 1. So we can multiply this first, the square root of x plus 3 by x minus 1 over x minus 1. And this would create the new function x minus 1 times the square root of x plus 3 plus 1. That's our second function. And this is all over our common denominator, x minus 1. For the difference, it's pretty much the same thing, except instead of adding, we're subtracting. The square root of x plus 3 plus 1 over x minus 1. And again, if you want to get a common denominator, the common denominator is x minus 1, so we're multiplying the square root of x plus 3 by x minus 1 over x minus 1. We can do that because that's the same thing as multiplying by 1. That should be a minus instead of a plus. So notice there's not much difference here. It's just that we're subtracting 1 instead of adding 1, and our denominator is again x minus 1. If we wanted to multiply, find the product of our two functions, we're just simply going to multiply and when we're multiplying, we may not always have a lot to do. If we wanted to simplify this, we could write this as the square root of x plus 3 over x minus 1, because you're multiplying numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. And then finally, if we're finding the quotient function, if we're dividing, we've got f, the square root of x plus 3 on top, and we're dividing this by 1 over x minus 1. Now, if you are dividing by a fraction, the rule is to take the reciprocal of the denominator and change it to multiplication. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're going to write the square root of x plus 3. Instead of dividing, we're multiplying by x minus 1 over 1. See how I flipped the denominator. And then to simplify that, it's now just multiplying, where we multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators, which is just 1. So it's not necessary to write 1 in the denominator.